Shri Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayana Namaskrityam Naranchaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jai Mudiret. Okay, Hare Krishna everyone. So thank you everyone for joining. So today we'll discuss a verse from the third canto, 16th chapter, and today's verse for discussion will be text number 20. So 3, 16, 20. Let me share my screen. Yam vai vibhutirupayeta anuvelam anair artha arthibhi swashirasa drita padarenu धन्यार्पितांग्रि तुलसी नवधाम धाम्नो लोकाम मधुव्रत पतेर्इव कामयाना यं वै विभूतिरुपयाति अनुवेलमन्यैर् अर्था अर्थिभिः स्वशिरासधृतपादरेणु धन्यार्पितांग्रि तुलसी नवधाम धाम्नो लोकाम मधुव्रत पतेर्इव कामयाना. Okay, Madhav.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yam vai vibhutirupayati anuvelamannैर्
Yam vai vibhuti upayatya anuvelam anyair
Artha arthibhi swashirasa drita padarenu
artharthi swashirasa tratapadarenu
धन्यार्पितांग्रि तुलसी नवधाम न धाम्नो
धन्यार्पितांग्रि तुलसी नवधाम धाम्नो
लोकाम मधुव्रत पतेर्इव कामयाना.
lokam madhuvrata pater iva kamayana. Hare Krishna.
Okay, thank you, Hare Krishna. Was it Mangal Nitai Chan Prabhu?
Hare Krishna Prabhu, it's Krishna.
Krishna, okay, go ahead. Yam vai vibhutirupayati anuvelam anyair
Yam vai vibhutir upayatyanuvelamanyar
अर्थाभि स्वशिरासधृतपादरेणु
artharthabhi swasirasa dhitapadarenu
धन्यार्पितांग्रि तुलसी नवधाम धाम्नो
janyarpitangri tulasi navadhamadhamno
लोकां मधुव्रत पतेर्इव कामयाना.
lokam madhuvritapater iva kamayana. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Aksharam?
Hare Krishna, this is Aksharam.
Okay, Aksharam, go ahead. Yam vai vibhutirupayati anuvelam anyair
Yam ve vibhutir upayatyanuvelamanyar
अर्थार्थिभिः स्वशिरासधृतपादरेणु
arthartibhi swashirasatritapadarenu
धन्यार्पितांग्रि तुलसी नवधाम धाम्नो
धन्यार्पितांग्रि tulasi navadhamadhamno
लोकां मधुव्रत पतेर्इव कामयाना.
lokam madhuvrata pater iva kamayana. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Okay, thank you. Thank you everyone for joining and reading. So, yesterday we read up to the point where, like our main point yesterday was, so we came to the part of the pastime where the Lord has come and the Kumaras have seen the personality of the beauty of the Lord, and by that darshan, they have been elevated from their Brahman stage to the stage where they are now appreciating the personal form of the Lord, and they were like so much relishing that beauty of the Lord that they couldn't stop seeing the beautiful form of the Lord. And every anga they were actually absorbed in seeing the beauty of every anga of the Lord. And then the verse we read yesterday, because the Kumaras were thinking that, oh, we have made an offense, we have actually offended your dear devotees Jay and Vijay. And like, first of all, they make the point that how they are so fortunate to have like direct darshan of the Lord, and this is only by the mercy of the Lord, only by unflinching devotional service can one have face-to-face darshan of the Lord, right? And then they pray that, okay, even if we have to enter into an hellish condition, we pray that let our minds, let our words, let our ears be engaged in your service. So basically, they are saying, let our mind be engaged in absorption at your lotus feet. Let our words be beautified by your glories, and let our ears be only filled with, like the word we read, this karna randhra. Let the holes be just filled with Krishna Katha. Right? So basically, they are saying that even if you have to go to hell with bhakti, is better than a state of liberation without bhakti, right? So that previous state, what they had of that state of Brahman realization, one way in the verse from yesterday, they are actually saying that, oh, that stage we are neglecting that, we are not interested in that. Even if you have to go to hell, even if you have to take birth after birth, even if that's the case, let us always be engaged in your devotional service. So now they are appreciating the bhakti. And all these stories, like, we often make the point that Bhagavad Gita is actually establishing how devotional service is the highest of all processes. Yoginam api sarvesham madgatena antaratmana shraddhavan bhajate yomam same yuktato mataha. The best of all the devotees is the one who is engaged in devotional service. And there are many commentaries who actually people write commentaries and they focus more on karma yoga or other aspects of yoga. But only a devotee can really come to the point and say with full authority that yes, bhakti is the highest. And Srimad Bhagavatam, which is the best of all Purana, we are hearing the point again and again from elevated personalities. And here we are hearing from whom? The 4 Kumaras who were already Brahman realized, such a high state, and now they are promoted to an even higher state, and they are establishing that nothing higher than bhakti yoga. Jnana yoga, dhyana yoga, all those are only to bring one to the point of bhakti, and bhakti is the highest. So what we are reading in Bhagavad Gita, it is confirmed again and again by so many different personalities throughout Srimad Bhagavatam. Right? Now, after the 4 Kumaras, made this point, they requested the Lord that even if you go to hell, let us always be absorbed in you. And then they finally offer their obeisances to the Lord, and that ends the previous chapter, and that brings us to chapter number 16. So chapter number 16 is titled Jay and Vijay cursed by the sages. Actually, the curse was already, it happened before in chapter 15, but here in this chapter we will see how the Lord himself, right? So the Kumaras have already spoken to the Lord. Now the Lord will actually speak. And it's very interesting, and we left the discussion yesterday with this point, that what do you think the Lord would actually say? Because Jay and Vijay are his pure devotees, and now his pure devotees have been offended. So is the Lord going to take one side, compared to the other side, and say, okay, Jay and Vijay, you were right or you were wrong, or 4 Kumaras, you were right? How is the Lord going to actually deal with this whole situation? So this chapter starts off how the Lord actually starts speaking. And he actually says, these attendants of mine, this Jay and Vijay, they are actually my attendants, right? They are my servants, and they have committed a great offense against you because of ignoring me. So it's very interesting that here he says, akratam atikramam. Atikramam means an offense, and they have committed an offense. So he's telling the foreground, my servants Jay and Vijay have actually committed an offense against you. Right? Now, because they have neglected me, And how we understand that because of neglect of the Lord. And further, the Lord actually establishes that how the Lord glorifies the situation of Brahmanas, and by not recognizing Brahmanas, they have actually acted against the will of the Lord. Right? And then further, they make the point that what you have punished, Jay and Vijay, I approve of that punishment. I approve of that punishment. And further, he says, to me, like in text 4, he says, Brahma Daivam Param Hi Me. He says, these Brahmanas, they are the highest and most beloved personality. Like, when you offer food to Krishna, Namo Brahmanya Devaya, we are offering our obeisances to that personality. To him, Brahmanas are so dear. Namo Brahmanya Devaya, right? He's the Lord of all the Brahmanas. So here, the Lord himself is glorifying the four Kumaras. In that these Brahmanas are so dear to me. And he's saying the Brahmana is the highest and the most beloved personality. What the four, Jay and Vijay, what disrespect they showed you as is actually it is, he's actually taking that this is actually my offense to you, because they are my representative, they are my servants, and because they have cursed you, it is like I have cursed, I have made an offense to you. Right? So I take this to be an offense by myself. Therefore, I seek forgiveness for this incident. It's so interesting. That the Lord is telling the four Kumaras, please forgive me. Now, one may say, like, can the Lord ever commit an offense? And even, someone will say, no, the Lord did something wrong. I mean, how is it possible? He's the absolute truth. How can the absolute truth do something which is wrong? Right? So there is no question. And when the Lord is actually begging for forgiveness, it is actually a glory of the Lord showing his love for his devotees. And there's another verse here which comes in this starting few verses where the Lord actually says a wrong act, which is actually something wrong act committed by a servant, is actually the responsibility of the master. And he gives an example that just on the body of any part of the body, if there's one spot of white leprosy, then that pollutes the entire skin. So even if one of my servants has actually made a mistake, it is actually my mistake. It is my mistake. And then further, the Lord is actually saying, oh Brahmanas, you are so glorious. You are so glorious. Actually, even I get my glories from you. Like how the Lord gets his glories from the glories of Brahmanas, and then he actually elaborates and he says like that how when people, even a low class Chandala, when he actually hears the lowest of all people, when they hear my glories, they get purified. And how is this possible? Because I have obtained this glory because of you Brahmanas. And then the Lord himself says, therefore I will not hesitate to lop off my own arm if his conduct is found to be against you. So if there is any action against you, O Brahmanas, I will cut off my hand. This is how I am indebted to Brahmanas. My fame is because of you, Brahmanas. And then further it actually says, Yet Sevaya Charana Padma Pavitra Renu. That even the lotus, the dust, Pavitra Renu, right? So dust from the lotus feet of the Lord has become so sacred that if anyone comes in contact with that dust, immediately he is wiped off of all sin. And I have obtained such a disposition that even the goddess of fortune does not leave me, even though I am not attached to her. And all this is because of you, Brahmanas. Now imagine 4 Kumaras. They are thinking that the Lord, is upset with us because we offended, we cursed his dear servant. And now the Lord is coming and he's glorifying the 4 Kumaras. Now he's glorifying the 4. And further he actually makes a point that even, they say, how does the Lord eat? The Lord eats through the mouth of the Brahmanas. And that's why in Vedic culture there's so much importance given to Brahman Bhojan, like feeding like real Brahmanas, not the Kalyug caste Brahmanas, but real Brahmanas. When we feed Brahmanas, and Prabhupada always when there's talk of Brahmanas, he'll say, oh, Vaishnavas, right? Because Brahmana, a Vaishnava is a perfect Brahmana. right? So Prabhupada always takes you to that, and he makes the point that when Brahmanas, or Brahmana Vaishnava, is actually fed, fed food, then the Lord eats through the mouth of these Brahmanas, right? And if I take the dust of Brahmanas on my head, who will actually hesitate to do so? I myself, I bow down and I take the dust of Brahmanas on my head. So who will actually refuse to do the same? Right? And then further he actually makes a point. Ye me tanurve dvija varan duhatir madhya. He says duhati means cows, dvija varan means Brahmanas. He says the Brahmanas, the cows, and the alabdha sharanani, the defenseless creatures, are all my own body. They are all my own body. Therefore, if anyone commits an offense, it is a direct offense to me. And then in text 11 he says, right. So basically it means people who please me, those who are gladdened in heart and respect the Brahmanas, even if they utter harsh words and look upon them as my own self and pacify them as a son would appease as an angry father. Right? So basically now he has come to a state where he's glorified the Brahmanas, saying, I eat from the foot of the Brahmanas. I take the dust of the Brahmanas on my head. My glory, that people glorify me and they get free from sin, or take the dust, they get free from sin, is only because of you Brahmanas. Right? Because of you Brahmanas. Because of my connection with you. Okay, and therefore he ends and he actually makes the point that these servants, these Jai and Vijay, they have acted against you, not knowing how much I appreciate the Brahmanas. I am so indebted to the Brahmanas. I therefore deem it a favor. So he's actually now speaking on behalf of Jai and Vijay, that yes, you have cursed them, you have done the right thing, but please let them return to my presence soon, and time of their exile from my abode may expire before long. So yes, you have cursed them, but I am asking you, please let them come back soon. Right? So it is very interesting. Up to this point, like even we would be confused that why is the Lord glorifying the Brahmanas? Now it's interesting that Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, he actually makes the point that certainly the Jai and Vijay are so dear to the Lord that the Lord was not happy that the four Kumaras had cursed the doorkeepers. And Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says that when the Lord is actually speaking these statements, it is in a sarcastic mode, showing his deep love and attachment for Jai and Vijay. That's like Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's mood. That by saying these words. And it's very interesting that, we'll see this later on in Prithu Maharaj, it comes in the 4th canto, that there was this whole, a thing between Prithu Maharaj and Indra, right, where Indra was coming and he didn't want Prithu to perform the 100th horse sacrifice, and he was coming again and again and he was spoiling the sacrifice itself, right, and he was disturbed, and it was certainly Indra's fault. But then Brahma comes and he sees the whole thing. But when he comes, who does he speak to? Not Indra. He speaks to Prithu and says, Prithu, it's okay. Don't need to do it. Because Indra, by spoiling your guys, he was just creating more irreligious activity. So it's interesting that, when someone is coming to mediate between two parties, sometimes a mediator will talk to one who is actually right, who is actually maybe more understanding, So that we see in Prithu. Here, he came and it's like he didn't speak to Jai and Vijay, but he came and spoke to the four Kumaras, but he glorified them in such a way that the four Kumaras are feeling, okay, so I don't think we have done anything wrong, right? So that's the situation here. So then Brahma is actually continuing. He's speaking to to the sages. He's telling the whole story, right? And he's coming to how Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu. That's the whole flow, right? If you remember, who was Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu. So Brahma is continuing and saying that when the four Kumaras heard this, they were not satisfied hearing this. Why were they not satisfied? And for the four Kumaras, this was like, the Lord is glorifying us. So the excellent speech of the Lord was difficult for them to understand. because of its momentous import and its profound significance. So the sages were not sure that, okay, this is like so deep, but which side is he? Like, is he glorifying us, or is he being sarcastic? Or, we don't clearly understand why the Lord is actually speaking in this way. Like, because, someone may just come and say, like, okay, who's right, who's wrong, tell us that. But Lord is not doing that. He is one way saying that what you did was right. But the four Kumaras, because they were also thinking that they did wrong, they couldn't really understand why the Lord spoke this way. Right? And then, and then they again speak to the Lord. And today, what verse we read is one of the verses that the sages speak. And the sages actually say that we are unable to know what you intend for us to do. For even though you are the supreme ruler of all, you speak in our favor as if we have done something good to you. Because we were thinking that we made a mistake, but you are speaking as if we did something really great to you. We don't understand. You are the supreme personality of God. You are the supreme, Lord. How can your glory be because of it? We don't really understand, right? And then further they say, oh Lord, you are the supreme director of Brahminical culture. He is the one who comes, he establishes the four varnas, he establishes Brahminical culture. Your considering the Brahmanas to be highest position is your example for teaching others. When you speak so highly of Brahmanas, it is just for other people to realize the glories of Brahmanas. When you glorify Brahmana, then everyone says, oh, if the Lord is glorifying, then certainly we have to respect the Brahmana. So it is just for teaching others. Actually, there is no other supreme worshipable deity than you, right? Than you. Right? So even for the Brahmanas, you are our most worshipable deity, right? And then further they say you are the source of eternal occupation of all living entities, and you have always protected religion. You are the supreme objective of religious principles, and in our opinion, you are inexhaustible and unchangeable eternally. So basically, they're making the point that it's not possible that you make a mistake. You are eternally unchangeable, nirvikara. You are always the absolute truth. It's not that Lord falls from his position ever. He's always the absolute truth. And then further, he make the point that only by your mercy do even mystics, transcendentalists, they can cross over this material illusion. So it is not possible that that you are actually dependent on us, right? And then further, the Lord had made the point that Lakshmi does not give up my company because I have served Brahmanas. But here, the four Kumaras are actually, so in today's verse, they are saying, no, how is that? That's not possible. That is because you serve Brahmanas, hence Lakshmi is not leaving you. No, that cannot be possible. And hence in today's verse, they actually say, Yam, referring to whom? Why? Vibhutihi, referring to Lakshmi ji. So certainly Lakshmi, the goddess of fortune, Upayati, she actually always waits upon. Anuvelam occasionally, Ane by others, material facility. So basically it is said, the goddess of fortune, Lakshmi, the dust of whose feet, right? So Swa Shirasa, if you see in the second line, Swa Shirasa, Drida Pada Renu. Pada Renu means, Pad means feet, and Renu means dust. So people, they actually pray, worship, perform austerities to get the dust of the lotus feet of Lakshmi on her head. Like, it is in this world, everyone is like, oh, Lakshmi Puja, yes, we have to do it. Then she will actually bless us with good fortune, with opulences. So all over, even Brahmaji himself is always seeking the mercy of Lakshmi, right? And that Lakshmi always, Yam Vai Vibhutir Upayati, she is always waiting upon you as appointed, for she is. Why does she always wait upon you? So everyone in this material world, up to the stage of Brahma, is seeking the mercy of Lakshmi. But Lakshmi is waiting upon you. Why? And then the line 3 and 4 says, Dhanya Arpita Angri Tulasi Navadhama Dhamna. For she is anxious to actually secure a place in the abode of the king of bees, who hovers on the fresh wreath of tulsi leaves. So Tulasi Navadhamna. So a garland of tulsi leaves which is actually offered to the feet of the Lord, right? So that tulsi leaf, Dhamna means the place. So that's where Tulsi is residing. And Lakshmi ji is aspiring. She's waiting that when will I have that privilege of always being situated at the lotus feet of the Lord. So here the four Kumaras are saying that you are saying that Lakshmi ji does not leave you because of us? No, 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 no. I mean, everyone, all the Brahmanas, everyone is seeking Lakshmi ji, but Lakshmi ji is waiting for you. She is aspiring for a place at your lotus feet where the bees, the bees are always hovering because of the tulsi which is offered to your lotus feet, right? So in this way, they have, they are saying that, yeah. So I hope this is clear. Like, I mean, the whole conversation, it's like, it's one may say that, okay, what's happening is maybe a little hard to comprehend that how the Lord has come and glorified the Brahmanas. And then the Brahmanas are confused, saying that, why is the Lord glorifying us? Like, we did do something right? I mean, it seems like we did something wrong. And then the Kumaras are replying and saying, no, 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 no. You're glorifying us? Actually, no, no. You are the absolute truth. Our glory is because of you. Because we serve you, we are actually following your instructions given in the Vedas, or we know the Vedas, which is actually coming from you. Hence, there is glory upon us. But it cannot be that your glory is because of us. So we'll stop at that point. We'll continue, and further we'll see like how the four Kumaras, they actually say, actually we have cursed two innocent people, right? And whatever punishment you want to give us, we accept it. So by glorifying the Brahmanas, one way the four Kumaras are, now are in a position, now they have really accepted, like, because they're already repentant when they curse, and now they are coming to another level of humility, right? So it's like this, like, consider the four Kumaras are feeling repentant. Oh, we made the mistake, curse. And someone is coming and glorifying them for a thing that, it's like, like, let's say a practical example that, let's say you made some mistake, right? Okay, I made a mistake. Now, after that, I'm thinking that, oh, I made a mistake. Maybe this person is going to come and he's going to chastise me. Now, the person is coming and glorifying me for some seva which I didn't even do. Now, imagine that person is already repentant, and now I'm being praised for something which I have not done. Immediately, it will be like, no, 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 no. And then we go to a deeper level of humility. And because of that deeper level of humility, then the four Kumaras say, oh no, we have cursed two innocent people. So it was all that glorification is actually one way the Lord's trick to bring the four Kumaras to a deeper level of humility where they can actually really appreciate the position of Jai and Vijay, appreciate devotees of the Lord. Right? So this is the whole underlying theme. Maybe we'll talk a little bit more about this theme in our next session. But I hope that's okay. Let's see if anyone has any questions on this section. Okay, is that okay? Everyone, does that make sense? Like how the Lord has come and glorified to take the Kumaras to a deeper level of humility. Okay. So thank you all so much. So we'll stop here. Granta Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Vancha Kalpatarubhyasya Kripa Sindhubhyevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namo. Thank you all so much for joining. So we'll continue tomorrow. We'll be starting with Chaitanya Charitamrita, and again it'll be like an like a flow of Chaitanya Charitamrita overview, and then important shlokas. We'll stop and we'll discuss. Okay. So we'll see you all tomorrow evening. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare
Thank
Krishna,
you.
Prabhuji.
Hare
Hare Krishna,
Krishna. Thank you for
Hare
Prabhuji.
joining.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna,
Thank you,
Prabhuji.
Prabhuji.
Thank you very much, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Prabhuji.
Krishna Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare
Thank you for
Krishna.
Thank
joining.
you Prabhuji.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Thank you so much, Prabhu. It's so important how the Sanat Kumaras have taught us personally a lesson saying that making mistake is one thing, and accepting it wholeheartedly and being ready for, whatever the punishment may be, let us get it out of utmost humility is one more